Beloved child, today I do not come to walk the road in your place. I come to illumine the path you must take, with the light that God Himself has placed within you from the dawn of your life. That light is not meant to blaze for you alone, but to warm lonely hearts and guide those lost in the darkness of life. I do not take you by the hand, I light the lamp and invite you to courageously obey so that this light may awaken, act, and heal. There comes a moment in life when you suddenly realize you are not an accident adrift in a vast world. It is when amid 1,000 noises, you still hear a deep voice calling you into the light. It is when you lift your gaze above the weariness of daily life and sense a holy presence looking at you with eyes full of hope. It is when you stop asking, "Who am I?" and begin to ask, "What light within me is waiting to be awakened?" And that is the moment I, Michael, come to rouse you, not with thunder, but with a whisper. You have been seen, you have been chosen, and you have been entrusted with the light to walk forward. Have you ever felt small in a world spinning too fast? Have you ever longed for someone to truly see you, not for your achievements or your roles, but simply for who you are? In those very stirrings, you are not alone. I have always been near, not to control you but to listen with you to the voice of God resounding within your soul. Obedience is not bowing your head and bracing yourself under a burden, it is opening your heart in trust so that heaven's light may shine through you, piercing the darkness you have walked through. The light God placed in you is not a lamp that burns only when life is smooth. It is a fire that smolders even when you stumble, even when you feel unworthy. It does not come from perfection, but from the sincere desire to live the goodness to which God calls you. And I, Michael, am the bell of awakening, the one who lifts your hand when your inner light is only an ember. When you dare to obey, that light not only ignites again but can set other lives aflame. Obedience is not silent waiting, it is daring to take a small step while your heart is still trembling. It is choosing to pray a simple prayer in the midst of turmoil, to write a word of comfort when someone needs support, to heed the gentle invitation within, and to dare to say yes. For what God awakens always begins with what seems small, and I, Michael, stand with you on that unseen front line, not to act in your place but to remind you you are never alone. Now that the light within you has been stirred, now that you hear the call to resurrection from your depths, come with me into the truths that will help you live your calling more fully. For there are moments that seem accidental, but are turning points in a life. There are truths not just to be heard but to be lived. And there are hidden frontiers, where you are invited to become an instrument of peace. There are times that look small, arriving quietly and ordinarily, but they carry the weight of a sacred turning. It may be a moment of stillness amid a busy day, or a sudden thought when you think you are merely passing the hours. Yet, in such seemingly simple moments, heaven draws close and whispers, "Will you step forward? I am the Archangel Michael. I do not come to draw the road for you in advance. I am sent to shine light upon the way God sowed in you before you were formed." Your life is not shaped by great events alone but by how you answer each gentle call within. When you choose to move even by one small step, heaven begins to write a love story no one else can write for you. There is a passage in Scripture, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a future and a hope." Jeremiah 29:11. I want you to know no moment is accidental. Each time you courageously obey, the whisper within the light in you grows brighter. Do you know, in Scripture there was a moment that seemed ordinary but changed destiny? When the prophet Zechariah was offering incense in the temple, a duty he performed as usual, it was then that God's angel appeared to announce the birth of John the Baptist, the son he thought he would never have. A man's mission and an entire stream of salvation began in a moment that seemed most still and routine. In the same way, I remind you, you need not wait for a mighty wind or an earth-shaking miracle for the light to rise. Sometimes one silent nod, one whispered prayer is enough to make angels rejoice and open a new path for your soul. I, the Archangel Michael, will always uphold and protect you whenever you dare courageous obedience. You do not need to wait until you are perfect, strong, or fully ready. God does not choose you because you are fine, but because He sees the light forgotten within you. That light is waiting for your quiet, trembling yes. The journey need not begin with a shout, it begins with one small, sincere step. I know you may be standing at a crossroads, between keeping safe and stepping out toward the call from your depths. But my child, I am here and heaven looks on you with love. Everything begins when you choose the light, not the light of success but of faithfulness. When you dare even one step, you will see a door open, not always visible to the eye but always clear to the soul. And there your life will turn even if you cannot yet see it. I am there in every hidden moment of decision, in every silent yes God treasures as His jewel. So if you are hesitating, wondering whether this small thing is worth trusting, I invite you to try. Choose the good. Write a word of comfort, pray a short prayer, forgive once more, return once more. Not out of pressure, not out of fear, but because the light within you longs to live again. For the moments you think insignificant are exactly when heaven touches the ordinary. Do not wait for a miracle from outside, you yourself are the miracle waiting to awaken. When the light begins to dawn in you, you will quietly and deeply realize you yourself are the instrument, the lamp, the bell, awakening. Someone who is waiting for you to step forward, and so I will walk with you. For you not only need to know where you are going, you need to know who is looking at you with the gaze of unconditional love. Then as you go on, you will understand more deeply your worth has never come from human eyes but from the gaze of heaven. Have you ever sat still looking at your life and wondering, does God truly notice me among billions on this earth? How many times have you felt too small to be remembered? But my child, in heaven's eyes you have never been invisible. Every heartbeat, every breath you draw is held in God's care. He saw you before you could see yourself. I am the Archangel Michael. I am sent to remind you you do not need to strain to find worth in the eyes of the world. Your true value was established by God from the beginning. No one can add to it and no one can take it away. In His boundless love you are not only seen but also chosen. Not chosen to live a meaningless life but to become an instrument bearing His light and presence to others. Remember, Jesus once walked through a pressing crowd. Many touched Him but only one woman, suffering for 12 years, dared reach out to touch the hem of His garment. He immediately stopped and asked, "Who touched me?" Mark 5:30. Among thousands of faces He saw her. He not only saw but chose to heal her, to lift her up, to restore the dignity she thought long lost. Do you see? God's gaze never overlooks anyone, not even you. In this core truth I want you to engrave it in your heart: heaven's gaze is not like the world's gaze. People may see you through the lens of success, beauty, intellect, or social roles. But God looks at you with different eyes, the eyes of original, unconditional love. When He calls you my child, it is not because of what you do, but because of the very identity He placed within you. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I consecrated you. Jeremiah 1:5. You see, you have never had to compete for God's attention. You have been chosen from the beginning, and that choice holds true to the end. My child, sometimes you think you must do something great for heaven to notice. But I come to remind you, you are seen not for what you do, but for who you are. You are chosen not to carry a heavier burden, but to live more freely in love. What you need is not to prove your worth, but to courageously receive that love, and to let the light within you rise, shining on other souls who are thirsting. When you understand you are seen and chosen, you will no longer live as one searching for a place. You will stand upright, not in pride but in gratitude. You will walk not to compete but to give. You will pray not in fear of abandonment, but in the peace of one who knows they have a secure place in God's heart. And I, the Archangel Michael, will remind you of this in every inner battle. You do not need to earn recognition from the world, for you already have the gaze of heaven that never leaves you. Pause a moment to listen to your heart. In its depths you will sense a light not of your making. That is the light God placed within you, the proof that you have been chosen. And that very light will lead you through the dark days toward the healing that heaven's love has prepared. My child, when this truth becomes your foundation, you will no longer be confused about your worth, for what matters most is not where you stand in human eyes, but in whose gaze you are held. And the answer is already given. Heaven has seen you, has chosen you, and never stops calling your name. Then when you dare to believe this, you will be ready to step into a new journey, a journey not only of knowing but of love put into action. For love, if it stops at feeling, is still incomplete. True love becomes mission to heal and to bring presence to wandering hearts. Some think love is flowers strewn on the path, sweet emotions making the heart glow. But my child, love does not end in beautiful feelings. True love is the power to heal the wounds others carry. It is not a fleeting intoxication, but a steady fire that warms the cold and lifts the fallen. I am the Archangel Michael. I want you to understand, love does not paint your life in artificial pink. God's love is the love that dares to enter the dark places where people suffer to offer light and hope. The mission of such love is healing. It softens your heart, clears your vision, and moves your hands so they cannot stay still but reach to touch other lives with mercy. Do you remember the story of the Good Samaritan, a man beaten and left half dead, passed by many? Only the Samaritan, one despised, stopped, bent down, bound his wounds, brought him to an inn, and paid for his care. This is the image of true love. It does not ask, "Who are you?" but, "What do you need?" This love does not seek sweetness for itself but healing for others. And this love reflects the light of heaven. In Scripture, Jesus says no one has greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. John 1:5-13. You see, love is not to be stored away like a private treasure. It is a call to give, to sacrifice, to live for and with others. Beloved child, when you let the love within you be born of heaven's light, you will see it is not only for your joy but to bring joy to those who have lost hope. It is not only so you may feel loved but so you may become living proof that God still loves this world. That is the purpose of love, the mission of healing. I, the Archangel Michael, stand beside you in every step. I encourage you, let your heart be moved, but do not stop at emotion. Let your heart turn feeling into action. A prayer for one who suffers, a hand for one who is unsteady, a look of compassion for one who feels invisible. These small things carry great power of restoration, for heaven's love is never wasted. And as you live love as a mission of healing, you will find your own wounds slowly closing, for as you give light, light reflects back and warms your own soul. Love is a flow, the more you give, the more you are filled. The more you step in, the more you are healed. Remember, my child, love does not call you to stand apart from life as a dreamer. It calls you to enter in, to live truly, to touch truly, and to let your hands become God's hands for those longing for a miracle. And that miracle you yourself can begin. Then as you live love this way, you will discover something deeper. This world has an unseen battlefield, where countless noises and distractions try to pull you from love. But my child, do not fear. I, the Archangel Michael, together with your guardian angel, am always there to remind you you are never alone in love's battle. Have you ever wondered why, when you wish to pray, 1,000 thoughts intrude? Why, when you want to live in love, countless worries pull you away? My child, it is no accident. For in this life there is a quiet but constant front line, the line between light and the noises that seek to keep you from its source. I am Archangel Michael. I want you to know this noise does not come only from the outside, it also echoes within you. It may be the endless worries, the comparisons that make you feel inadequate, the temptations that lure you into comfort and make you forget your mission. These are like veils of mist covering the light, making it hard for you to see the way ahead. But do not be afraid. I am here to remind you the light within you is never extinguished. You need only the courage to peel away the layers that cover it. In the scriptures there is a story that may seem small but carries a profound message. When the prophet Elijah fled in weariness and fear, he waited for God to appear in the powerful wind, in the earthquake, in the fire. But God came in a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 1:9, 1:2. Do you see? God is not in the clamor but in the stillness. That is why the adversary's strategy is always to drown you in noise, so that you no longer hear the tender and quiet call. Beloved one, I want you not to be mistaken. This battlefield is not meant to make you tremble, for you are never alone. I, Archangel Michael, together with the guardian angels, have been sent to uphold you, to stand with you. You are not fighting empty-handed. You fight with prayer, with faith, with courageous choices made day by day. Each time you choose to return to silence, to place your heart before God, you have already won on this invisible front. Do not think that victory only comes when you accomplish something grand. Sometimes it is enough that you dare to silence one noise within, to take a fleeting moment to whisper, Lord, here I am. And in that instant you have overcome the scheme of distraction. For this invisible battlefield is not a place of earthly swords and weapons, but a realm where the light of faithfulness always triumphs over the darkness of forgetfulness. Believe this: the more you pause, the more you strip away the noise, the more clearly you will hear God's voice in the depths. And when that happens, you will find your heart stronger and more at peace no matter the storms around you. My child, remember that I and the heavenly hosts are always near. We will never abandon you in this battle. Each time you feel weak, call upon heaven's help. We are a team and you are never alone. And then, as you learn to walk firmly amid this unseen battlefield, you will be led to a greater key, a secret for releasing grace, turning faith into concrete action. For love once awakened must be given through real deeds. There is a truth you must engrave on your heart: grace is not only to be admired nor merely to be felt, but to be lived. And you will discover that the key to unlocking grace is your own yes, made tangible through small but steadfast actions. Grace flows unceasingly from heaven, but for it to operate in your life you need one thing: courage to step forward. I am Archangel Michael. I remind you that obedience is not passivity, not sitting still hoping things will happen by themselves. Obedience is faith turned into movement, a yes, carried out with action, however small. It may be a brief prayer whispered amid a busy day, a message of comfort sent to someone in need of hope, or a hand extended to lift another up. These seemingly small deeds are the very places where grace takes root and spreads. Do you remember the wedding at Cana? When the wine had run out, Mary said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." John 2:5. A simple act: fill the jars with water. Nothing extraordinary, yet it was that courageous obedience that opened the way for Jesus' first miracle. Do you see? Grace operates not through outwardly great things, but through actions that seem ordinary, done in faith and love. Grace needs a doorway into your life, and that doorway is your readiness. You need not wait until you are strong enough, skilled enough, or brave enough. Begin with the smallest step. When you dare to obey in everyday matters, grace will open the way for you in greater things. My child, I know that sometimes you fear you are not enough, that your actions are too small to make a difference. But I am here to assure you, in heaven's eyes, no act done with love is small. A silent prayer, a tear offered, an unexpected kindness, all are shining lamps in God's hands. And when you persist in turning obedience into action, you will realize that you are no longer merely hearing about God, but truly experiencing Him. It is through concrete action that you see His love made real. And in each small act you yourself become an instrument of healing for the world. I, Archangel Michael, am with you in every step. I will uphold you when you feel weak, encourage you when you feel weary, but the one thing I need you to remember is this: do not keep the light only in your heart, let it show through your hands, your lips, your footsteps. And then when you let grace flow through concrete action, you will perceive something deeper. The light within you is not your own. It comes from God and waits to be fully awakened. From there you enter a new journey, the journey of the awakened light, where you yourself become a flame illuminating and awakening the light in other souls. My child, there is a mystery heaven wants you to remember. The light of God is not only above, but has been entrusted to your soul from the beginning. It is not given at some future time, but has been there all along, like a seed hidden in the earth waiting for its season to awaken. Often you think that light has gone out, but in truth it is only sleeping, waiting for you to open your heart and say yes, so it may rise. I am Archangel Michael. I am not here to give you a new light, but to awaken the light that already belongs to you, the light of life, of mercy, of the hope God has engraved in your being. Do not seek the light too far outside. Be still and recognize the true light that gives light to everyone has come into the world. John 1:9. That very light is echoing in your heart right now. Once Jesus said no one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. Matthew 5:1-5. Do you see? The light within you is not to be hidden nor to be displayed for pride, but to shine, for yourself and for all who need warmth around you. Awakening the light is not only to acknowledge its existence but to dare to let it radiate, even if only as a small ray in daily life. Beloved one, I know sometimes you wonder, is the light within me strong enough? Can it truly benefit anyone? But I tell you, the light of God is not measured by size, but by authenticity. A kind word, a compassionate glance, a silent forgiveness, each is a ray of light, and sometimes a single ray is enough to dispel dense darkness. When you allow your inner light to rise, you will feel a change not only within yourself but in the world around you. You will find your heart lighter, your soul wider, your steps more steadfast, and the most wondrous thing is this light multiplies. When you dare to live in the light, you will awaken the light in others. Remember, my child, you do not need to wait until tomorrow nor until everything is perfect. The moment now is the time for the light to awaken. Even as you read these words, even in this very breath, that light can flare up. God always acts in the present, and His light within you is always ready to shine forth now. I, Archangel Michael, together with the heavenly hosts, rejoice to see you courageous enough to let this light emerge. It need not be dazzling to be great. It need only be faithful to shine. Let the light awaken, and then you will realize you yourself have become a living sign of God's love on this earth. And when the light has risen, you will be ready to hear the final call to enter restoration, where you not only regain the light but step into the role and mission prepared for you from the foundation of the world. My child, once your light is awakened, it will not stop at shining. It will bring you back to the very place heaven has prepared for you since the beginning. This position is not fame, not an earthly throne, but the place destined for you in God's plan of love. It is where you become a kindler of flames, an instrument of hope, a living witness of the light entrusted to you. I am Archangel Michael. I not only uphold you in battle but also lead you into the position heaven has appointed for you. You may think yourself a mere grain of sand, but in God's hand even a grain has its place in the eternal design. This restoration is not about becoming someone else but about becoming fully yourself, the person God envisioned from the start. In Scripture, do you remember Peter's story? After denying the Lord 3 times, he thought he had lost everything: love, faith, mission. But on the shore, Jesus asked him 3 times, "Do you love me?" John 2:1-5-17. Each answer was not just an apology but a moment of restoration, and then from one who had fallen, Peter became the rock of the church. Do you see? The appointed place is never lost. It only waits for the day of restoration. Beloved, when you let your inner light awaken, you are also entering the process of restoring your calling. Each crack within you is no longer a flaw but a place where the light shines through stronger than before. Each failure is no longer an end, but the foundation for a deeper mission. Restoration is not returning to the past, but being given a new present where you stand in grace and freedom. I know you may still hesitate. Is that position really for me? Am I worthy, my child? it is precisely when you feel unworthy that heaven whispers, "My grace is sufficient for you." 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. You do not need to prove your worth. God's light within you is proof enough, and when you live true to that light you are already in your rightful place. Believe that where you stand, where you live, is the very field God entrusts to you. There is no need to look elsewhere. Right in your family, your work, your community, or among those you meet each day, that is where you can live your appointed calling to be a bearer of light, a sower of faith, a kindler of hope. I, Archangel Michael, stand with you in this sacred moment. I remind you restoration is not a burden but a grace. When you reclaim your sacred position, you also reclaim the voice of your heart to live as a flame guiding those who seek the light. And now, as the journey reaches this point, as you have passed through decisive moments, discovered core truths, entered healing, love stood firm on the battlefield, allowed grace to work and awakened your inner light, you are ready to receive the final blessing and invitation. For heaven does not only want you to know who you are, it wants you to walk fully in that light starting today. I want you to know these are not merely words to hear but words to live. I, Archangel Michael, will never leave you. Each time you tremble I will lift you. Each time you are weary I will shelter you. Each time you think you are alone I will remind you you are always surrounded by light, by heaven's prayers, by the boundless love of God. Walk forward not by your own strength, but by the power of the light blazing within you. Let that light become a gift to those you meet, a flame that shines in the darkness, a sign that God is present, still loving, still healing. Believe that each step you take, however small, echoes in heaven. Each yes you whisper, however quiet, is a song that moves the heart of God. And each loving act you offer to others, however simple, is a radiant victory on this invisible battlefield. Beloved one, I bless you with the very light of God, so that from this day on you will no longer live as someone unsure of your worth, but as one who knows you have been seen, chosen, and sent. Carry this calling with humility and courage, and walk fully in your vocation. And my child, remember, this journey does not end here. It is only the beginning of a new life, a life of awakened light, of grace, in action, of healing love. I will walk with you not only today but in every tomorrow you step into. Now open your heart and let the light rise, right in this now. So that from your very heart heaven may smile and the world may recognize that light is none other than Christ alive in you. Thank you for listening. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to journey with Archangel Michael and spread God's light every day.